Well, hello. Welcome back to the Monday Motivation Podcast. No more excuses. Yes, this is Sandi, Ballard, your hostess. If you've not checked out my website, please do. www.growingforward.biz, B-I-Z. I'm also on Twitter. I don't really mention that much because I'm not a big tweeter, but SLBallard13. And LinkedIn, please connect with me there. And my business Facebook page, which is Growing Forward Success Coaching. I'd appreciate if you'd like that page. And then you can also get weekly or daily, I guess, throughout the week. Once this podcast posts, I do the whole week posts are about the theme for the week. So what I do is I help people maximize their potential so they don't live a life of regret. And we've talked about that, or I've talked about that. The last few weeks is really, whether it's a personal or professional goal, it's making sure if you knew today was your last day on earth, you'd say, I've had a good run. I'm happy with what I've accomplished. Yes, I know, very morbid. A couple weeks ago, did you write your obituary? Are you living your life, living your legacy, living your life how you'd want people to, so they would talk positively about you at your funeral and your obituary. It would say things amazing and look at what this person's done versus she always wanted to or he could have been. So last week's podcast was about what was the one thing you would do or do differently to get to that point in your life to where you are living your legacy. What'd you come up with? I heard from a friend, ride more. He's retired and he's a cyclist, and he and his girlfriend love to ride. They ride together, solo, in groups, and he wants to inspire others to live fully in retirement. And another was being fully engaged in what they're doing. In the coaching world, we call that being present. I just heard a woman, I was speaking at the SMPS, which is the Society of Marketing Professionals, the conference in Missouri. So it's the Missouri Valley Regional Conference for the SMPS Association. So one of the women that was speaking, we were one of the quote-unquote max talkers, which are like TED Talk, but you can't call them TED Talks. So she was talking about multitasking, and we think we can. We think we are great at it, and how many people put that on their resumes, but it actually makes you dumber. Yes, so how many of you are doing something while you're listening to this? Are you focused? Are you listening? Are you fully present? So how do you focus and be present no matter if you're listening to this podcast or as you're listening to this podcast, if you're home with family, out with friends, in a meeting about a meeting that you just feel is the biggest waste of your time. So you're doodling, you're making a to-do list. I'm guilty of that sometimes. And you might just, if you're fully present, if you're fully engaged and focused, you might just pick up on something. Maybe it's something that reminds you to do something else. Maybe it's something that reminds you of, I haven't thought about that for a while. That's a good idea. And especially, of course, when you're with clients, being present, engaged, how can you shut off the outside distractions? Not only will you increase productivity, but people can tell when you're not giving them 100% of your attention. What if you needed their attention? How would you like it if they were doodling or making a list, or you could just tell in their eyes they weren't really there fully. When I'm facilitating a group, or if I'm meeting one-to-one with a client, if they're checking their phone, doodling, side talking, having those side conversations, it really doesn't make me feel like they value me, even if they're paying me. And, maybe they don't care, but, the person that is across from you can tell. And just because they're friends or family, you think they'll understand? Well, again, what if it's their last day? What if that's the last moment you'd have with them? I know, it's morbid. I keep talking about this. But the thing is, we have to stop being so distracted and regain our focus so we live in the moment and we can be as productive, engaged, and alive as we can be, so we can move more easily and stay on track with our goals and achieve them. Because how else, if you're constantly distracted, how are you staying focused? How are you moving quickly towards your goals and your success? Think about that. Well, it's April. Yes, it is April 10th. Yes. And it's a great time in April, second quarter, to check in on your goals. First quarter is done. And here comes the oh crap conversation or thoughts. Whether you've made no progress, some or a lot of progress, there's a lot of year left. So what will you do with it? Will you get going, keep going? And maybe if you've just been kicking ass, don't stop now. The biggest thing is to really just keep going and making sure you're really, really staying focused and you're present and engaged. And stop comparing yourself to others' progress, others' success. Oh, well, I can't be, my success isn't where they are, and all that. It's focus on you and your journey. It's okay to be inspired by someone or aspire to be like or as successful as. But your journey, your path is not going to be the same as theirs. And most of the time, if you're comparing yourself to someone else or someone else's success or life, it's demotivating you and it's causing you to hesitate and sometimes even give up. Well, because you don't measure up or you don't feel you'll ever get to be as your perception of as successful as them or as thin as them or as fast as them if you're a runner or whatever. Focus on you, okay? Take last week's podcast. Whatever it is you said you would do, either start doing or do differently to achieve your legacy, and keep doing it. Even if it's hard or uncomfortable. A lot of times it's tough, it's hard, it's uncomfortable. It, causes a little anxiety. That means change is happening. Make notes about it. So keep, whether it's a journal or you're working on your goal sheet, make notes of how it's going, how you feel, the progress, the challenges, distractions, others' reaction to what you're doing. And we'll check on this in a few weeks, okay? But for now, this week, I want you to focus on you, your journey, and your success. This week, what I want to know is, you ready? How are you staying focused on you? Your goals, your success, even a habit. Because a lot of times, on my goal worksheets, it talks about what are you going to do daily, weekly, monthly. Daily are habits, weekly habits. Obviously weekly. For 54 weeks, I've been recording these podcasts, and sometimes I have no idea what, as I start writing them, where they're coming from. And sometimes as I'm recording, I just throw other things in there, like now. But how are you going to stay focused on you, your goals, your success, your habits, and the habits which in turn will have a greater impact on your future? How will you keep the focus no matter how hard or scary this new thing is to you, and what you said you'd do differently? Okay? So email me, sballard@growingforward.biz, or post it here in the comment section wherever you're listening. How are you? How are you? How will you keep the focus? Okay? Again, email me, sballard, Sandi Ballard, sballard@growingforward.biz, B-I-Z, or post it here. And if you can't figure out what you want to focus on or how you'll keep the focus, there's two things. Contact me for a free 30-minute coaching call, or let's set up a strategy session. It's a half-day intensive session. I have one coming up this Friday, and I'm really excited about it. And let's get this figured out. Let's figure out what you want to focus on and why. How is it affecting your legacy and your future? Okay? So we'll figure out what you'd want to focus on, why, and how you'll stay focused, especially during the tough times. Yes, when shit goes sideways. And trust me, I've had it go sideways lately. How am I staying focused on my goals? Okay? It's tough when shit goes sideways, but all right. How are you going to stay focused? How will you stay focused? Email me, again, sballard@growingforward.biz. Post here and share. Please, please, please continue to share these podcasts because I really appreciate that effort and helping others and increasing my listenership. I was going to say readership. Listenership is really one of my big goals, so I really appreciate all that. All right, think about this. Let me know. I look forward to hearing from you. Cheers.